for quite a while, David. I got David Stockdale, footballer, goalkeeper, and cricketer when way back in 2001 when I first came over and I met you up in Leeds. How you going, Dave?
Yeah, I'm good. And you?
Yeah, good.
It has been a long time.
It's been a long time. It was 2010. I think I took you for a look around Lords. You were very damn dapper that day.
Well, you have to try, don't you?
Well, it is a place to try as well.
Yeah.
Mate, what are you up to at the moment?
Not much, obviously, with what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Football's not important at all. So just keeping busy. You know, you have to keep your mind going, as they say, and doing bits and pieces. Otherwise, it's funny, you do go stir crazy.
What's stopping you from going stir crazy at the moment? What are you hanging on to?
The list of jobs that I've got to do that I've been about for about a year. Yeah, I'll get round to them jobs.
Yeah, is that? I haven't got anything else to pull off. I can't. There's nothing else I can do, so I have to get those jobs done now. Yeah, but a DIY or what do you got?
Sorry.
But a DIY or what have you got to get done?
Yeah, we were getting our drive done.
Yeah.
So I've been digging into that. Just little jobs really, nothing massive. Just like putting lights up and then I'm helping out with the homeschooling. So I don't know what help I'm doing. I'm probably just a stationary guy.
I've just spent 2 weeks in isolation. So today is the first day I'm allowed to give the family cuddles, and I did a spell of homeschooling this morning. I'm pretty keen to pop back into isolation for a couple more weeks while they're still off school.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No excuse for that either.
Yeah, mate. So how busy are you outside? Okay, given where we are at the moment, what would you be doing now if we weren't on lockdown? If life was normal, what would you be doing right now?
We'd probably be in a gym now. At Wycombe, I'm on loan at Wycombe.
Yeah.
So I'll be down there. Would have been trained already and in the gym again and getting the old ice baths and recovery, which I tend to stay away from them. But
they're still doing ice baths. Is that's still a thing?
It's technically where the lads decide.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of lads that believe in it.
Yep.
I'm one of the ones that's very much touch wood. I've been lucky with injuries and things.
Yeah.
But give it a couple more years, I might be using them religiously. But there's a few lads that like them. I've never played outfield. I don't do like the running in you did.
Yeah.
I just stayed in the slips. So
just lazy, aren't you? That's
what.
Yeah. Keepers and spinners.
Down to it,
Keepers and spinners in cricket. Spinners in cricket, lazy bowlers, and then you just stand around the back and kick the ball a mile.
Well, exactly. That's what I signed up for.
Yeah. How long have you been? So you're a professional footballer. Just for those that don't understand, Stocky's a professional footballer who's played for 8 clubs.
A lot of clubs.
A lot of clubs. And there's a few of them that you've been on loan to as well, like at the moment. Yeah. Now, how long have you been a professional footballer? What was your first season of let's say, fully professional football?
Fully professional, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that? 16 years.
Yeah. And you still look about 19.
Yeah.
Do you get ID when you go in the pub at the moment?
I've been asked a couple of times for ID, and my wife's not happy about that because she gets straight in.
So in the 16 years, it's been pretty hard. It's been pretty good.
Ups and downs.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as everybody thinks. It's not that life that.
Come on! It's fast cars and glamorous, and it's easy, isn't it? It's just perfect. You play once a week, maybe twice.
On the upside, I'm not complaining.
No.
I'm not saying we have it bad, because like yourself, you can be away for 6 to 8 weeks at a time. So look, we don't have it that bad, and you can't complain, especially in the position the world's in now. People might start to realise what is important, and I don't think football's anywhere near that.
Yeah, it's just a pastime, isn't it? It's amazing how much pressure we put on ourselves as sportsmen, but B, there is from society to get sport back on TV and get everything back going again.
That's what it doesn't annoy me because I understand, because everyone's bored.
Yeah.
So everybody expects, when they're bored at home, there's normally a game of football on or cricket to watch.
Yeah.
But now it's not about anything. You can't even go and get food from a restaurant. So sport is like probably bottom of the list.
It's
Do you
way
think
down
the
the list.
nurses and the doctors are worried about what's on TV when they get home? I don't think they'll be worrying about that.
Let's just take the current situation out of it. When football gets tough, and I'm going to go with when you get sent to a new club or when you get loaned out to a new club, and do you have to just up sticks and shift? How does that all work?
Well, my eldest, she's had 5 or 6 goals now. So she's become very adaptable to situations.
Yeah.
The youngest has had 2 or 3. So that's the thing that people don't see. Yeah, they see the contract and the money.
Yeah.
But if you have to move the other side of the country, you're literally up in sticks. Friends and family go out the window. I ain't lived at home since I was 16. So this is a side where you can take your family into an environment where I can go to work and I've got teammates or friends that I can see, right, what are you doing later? Nothing, do you want to go out? Your wife, your kids don't have any friends to just say, oh, let's go out. Your wife has to make new friends. So it's these things that people don't see, and as footballers.
How do you juggle those priorities, especially when you're fresh to a club and you do want to immerse yourself in with the group and trying to get to know everybody as best as possible? How do you then counterbalance that with keeping company at home with wife and kids? How do you juggle that?
It is juggling, and as you know, I'm not a very good juggler. You know yourself, you've been in the changing room or round about me. I like to get in with the lads and make sure there's a team environment. That's what I try to do at home. You know, where this is our team, this is our home team. Whatever happens, we stick together. So we rely on each other as such. So we do a lot of things as families. Like when you could go out, we'd go bowling or we'd make a night. But we try and we're very much where our home is open to people. So we try and invite people that we've just met, you know, have a drink, bonfire night, things like that.
Yeah.
And I think being open like that, people understand that you are trying, you try to make friends, and you just feel yourself out that way. And at the end of the day, if people don't want to be your friend or you're not compatible as friends, they always said, but it was always open, you know, it was nice, they invited us, you know, so we're very hospitable people.
So that's your way of breaking down that barrier. I may not be able to get to your place all the time because I got family. So you guys feel free to come around here, and we'll spend some time together that way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, especially if I was asking you, Ian, you want to come all the way to Birmingham? If you said to your wife, "I'm just going to go to Birmingham to see Stockdale," that's a different conversation to, we've all been invited for a bit of a family barbecue. Now that makes it easier than you heading off. So things like that, it's somewhat like you see all these footballers out on nights out. I'm not one for that. I'm very much a cricket club drinker when I go out with the guys, and even my wife's probably there. So, or her dad or her mum. So that's how I work around it. I'm very much close knit, like to sit down and talk to people rather than going out clubbing all night. But that does happen, but not as regular as what it used to say.
What do let's tick off some of the highs of life. Let's tick off some of the big moments that have just gone right, and it's been amazing. Give me some of those. I mean, I know some of them, but feed me some of those, and I want to watch your smile on your face when you talk.
The memories just come back anyway. So basically, the earliest one would have been Brighton.
Yeah.
Then nearest to this time, getting promoted, making history with Brighton, never been in the Premier League, and you're part of it. Played 140 times for them over a 3-year span, which I think I missed 4 games in that whole time. So that brings the most pride and joy to make history. It's not just another promotion, as they say. And the club and the squad that we had that year makes everything, because we're still friends, we still speak. So yeah, that was probably the highest in recent times. And it's hard to recreate them. So you talk about the highs. Sometimes you have to take the lows. I'm not talking about in life. I'm talking about in your own self. Sometimes you can't get that standard for many years, and that's why the people in the Premier League at the highest standard stay there. There's things like making your Premier League debut. That came quicker than expected.
Who was that against?
That was against Everton.
Where at?
At Craven Cottage for Fulham. With an injury, and I thought I was third choice, but suddenly thrust in. They didn't tell me till the day before. So that 24 hours leading up was a nervous old 24 hours. But like my goalkeeper coach says, once you go over the white line, it's a blur. So you go into, as you know, once you go over the ropes, it's
What do you? Because I have this really weird part of me, like I can kind of remember sometimes in the changing room, like you played at numerous grounds around the country, and you played at some special places in your career. I have very little memory of walking out of the changing room and onto the ground. For some reason, I have almost no memory of out the door of the changing room, find your way to the ground and out onto the grass. I just cannot remember that. Don't know what my brain is doing. I don't know what's going on or what I'm thinking about or what I'm way too nervous about that I can't remember. Do those things happen to you? Did you, like you just said, it's all going to be a blur, but do you have memories, or do you have parts of your memories that don't exist for some reason?
Yeah. I seem to remember warm-ups very well. And the reason for that,
warm-ups.
The reason for that, number one, as a goalkeeper, you do a lot more in the warm-up than you do in a game. But for me, I used to get a feel in a warm-up how I would feel going into a game. So I can always remember what I was feeling so I remember certain games where I had probably the worst warm-ups. But then going out, I don't remember like getting onto the pitch, but I remember how I played. So it's a weird, odd sensation. And I remember certain times where someone had said something in the changing room before you went out, and then I remember the game. So I'm very much of the case where, I don't actually remember how I got to the pitch, but I did. I ended up on the pitch.
Yeah, people keep asking me, what's it like to walk through the crowd, with your batting gear on, or walk out to go and bowl? And so especially grounds here, you're walking shoulder to shoulder with a lot of spectators. And I have absolutely almost no recollection of how many times I did that. And I just find that extraordinary, because I try and think about it, and there's just nothing in there. What do you think that is? Is that just I have no idea, nerves, or is it just
no? I don't think it's nerves. I think it's ingrained in you that that's your time. I feel that this is what you do everything for. Going out to bat or ball or field or whatever. I'm going out into a football pitch. I'm not thinking about who's screaming and shouting and everything. I think I'm going out to do a job. That's my job. And I think every sports person has it different. Like, I know a lot of people that get butterflies. Some of the best players get butterflies, or nervous, or have to do something. But if you watch, they turn to a different person when they're on the pitch. It's like, what just happened there? Like, you was nervous in that changing room. Not nervous where like they didn't know what was going to happen. They're just nervous. That's how they get up for a game. They walk on over that white line. It's like somebody's just throwing flowers at the feet, and they're having a nice foot massage. Like they're not even thinking. You get some people who you look at and you think there's nothing in between your ears right now. It's literally
But
You've been trained to do that, and you will do
yeah.
it.
Did you, and when you say nothing between their ears, you say that in the nicest possible way. They got no thoughts, that it's just blank.
Yeah, that's
It's
what I meant. I
freedom.
didn't mean
Yeah.
because some of the smartest players don't have to think.
Yeah.
It's instinct thing. Like, I played with Berbatov. He's the calmest man you'll ever see,
Yeah.
because he'll walk out like, this is not. I've trained all I can for how many years. It'll come to me. He's got so much belief in, this is what I was supposed to do. So when he got out there, he didn't have to think. He knew where everything was. I've trained that. I know that my touches are. I can look over my shoulder and still have the ball. That's when I think to myself, that's the highest standard. Like,
have you found that place? Sometimes, some games, never. That place where you just know, that Berbatov sort of place.
Yeah, I have. I feel like, but as a goalkeeper, it's a little bit different, because you have to keep yourself on top, because sometimes you could be not in the game for 90 minutes, and then that 1 minute you needed. So it's a lonely place as such, because you got your own thoughts.
Yeah.
So, like you say, like, if you're fielding fine leg until you ball, you're thinking, right, I need to make sure I'm warm.
I need to slow my breathing down so I can bowl the next over.
I'm bowling, like, you would never think I'm bowling from a country as such.
No.
But you know, it's in there subconsciously.
Mm.
Like, if you're coming on at a spell where it's tight, you're not thinking, hey, that fella behind me just bought 2 pints. Where you're thinking, I need my line and length, I need my fields set up right. The captain's asked me this, where do I want this? It goes into automatic. You switch on, and I think that's why you've forgotten so much things, because in your head you've been through, so that's where experience comes in. I think where someone says your experience, it's usually because you're older, but the amount of games that you played, somebody can come to you and say, right, we're in this situation. You go straight back to that thing in your mind. I'm in this situation. It's like last minute of the game, we're winning 1-0 and they're all on top.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, I'm staying down, I'm pretending I'm injured, I'm doing what I can, I'm taking a yellow card, I'm taking my time. It's all about getting to a point where right, I've got to do this. I need 1 wicket. What's the best? I know this batsman, bowled against him loads of times. Bosh. This is where I'm at.
How do you stay, if you're not seeing the ball too much, if your midfielder's controlling things beautifully and you're not seeing the ball too often on a counter or on a build-up, do you have to talk to yourself to stay concentrating, keep concentrating, watch the ball? Do you have to talk to yourself, or have you got into a pattern where you're always on? Or do you turn off and turn on again? Like say a bowler turns on when they run in a bowl and turns off again as they're walking back. Do you have to turn off and on? Can you stay concentrated?
I think that's a good thing. Yeah, I think that's a good analysis, because if you've been under a bit of pressure for 10 minutes, concentration, as you know, it does make you tired. It's not, you can be tired in the field because you concentrate for that many hours. Yeah. So that's, for me, I think it's not that you're on all the time, but I'm a shouter, so I'll be talking to people, asking them, saying, what do you think about that? If we've got a corner, I'll be making sure everything's, there'll be a point where the ball goes out of play for corner, everyone's just relaxed. You just take a minute, have a little walk around, kind of share your thoughts with yourself. And the worst part is if you've made a mistake. So you always think about that.
Yeah.
But at the end, I'll be like, right, got to forget about that. That's the hardest part of sport. You make a mistake. At the end of the day, I just told myself, right, I'm going to get hammered for it anyway.
Yeah.
But I know I'm going to get hammered. So as long as you're comfortable and say, right, there's only one way. You have your solid game for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
If we win, it's not as bad. If we lose, if you're comfortable with what's coming, as in, you've done wrong and why you've done wrong, then that's how I've gone through life. I'm very honest, so I will say, that was me, lads.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, most lads are very much like, yeah, don't worry, like it happens to everyone.
There's not
It's
much
if
else.
you're
As soon as you put your hand up, there isn't much else
no,
that
that
can be done.
stops. Because I've learned that if somebody says sorry for an incident and explains why and what went wrong, then you become the fool if you carry on the barrage.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody's gone a bit too far when they're het up, and then there's always a sorry, because the other person will say, yeah, fine. Because you know that nobody ever doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah.
So you've got to realise when it's, how do you feel in that time? If you make a mistake, how do I speak to you to help you out? If you already know, I say, look, it's happened. What can we do? Like, and I think as a cricketer, if you're in the field and you've made a mistake, or if you've made a mistake batting, you've got a long, long time to sit and stew over that. But for me, I'm thinking to myself, right, how do I improve? I can't stop anyone from saying anything. I can't. But if my teammates and my manager say it's a one-off, or if you continue to make the same mistake, if you're then the one to go to the coaching staff and say, right, how do I nail this down? If they see you doing that, then they're seeing you improve. And at 34 years of age, I'm still looking at it going, that shouldn't have happened. Like, and they might say it's just a one-off. You haven't done that in 10 years. So it doesn't matter. How do I stop it from happening next week?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, a mistake is a mistake, and sometimes sometimes you read something wrong. You read something wrong. You end up on the wrong post. You end up defending the wrong player. You end up in the wrong space. But there's a point where you're going to be thinking about that for a long time. And there's Ed Cowan, Australian opener, former, we had a little chat quite a while ago. And this is, we spend so much time, this is one of his lines, we spend so much time thinking about our next failure. Because we really do spend more time thinking about our next, when we're going to mess something up. It's quite hard to think about our next success, because that's not how egos typically work. So how do you find yourself trying to not think about that mistake? Maybe you've come out to punch the ball and missed it. Are you then a bit gun shy of doing that again? How do you wipe that?
As you know, I'm never shy. I'm very much like, if we're going out, we're going all out. So if I make one mistake in the first minute, I know what their manager's saying to their team, especially on things like crosses. This keeper's shaky. I've had it before where I've made a mistake first minute, as in I hadn't caught it, looks a bit crap, shall we say. You're not happy with it. People are like, put it on him all day. We'll score off that. Then there's me shouting to him, put it on me all day. And then I've had games where I've made that mistake, and then for the rest of the game, I've taken everything in the air. Their players are saying, stop putting it in the air, he's going to catch it.
So you've forced yourself to be more aggressive. You've forced yourself to be more courageous, if you like.
Because in my eyes, it can't go any worse than what happened in the first minute. And luckily, we've got defenders that look after you as well, and that's just how it is. But it's like, as a cricketer, I know yourself, like how angry you can get when there's a misfield or something. That is cricket. Or if you drop to catch in the slips, the next thing for you is right. But it's if people do it reoccurringly, then there's a question to be asked.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And I think there's a realization in sport now that, there's a mistake, and I'm going to tell you, if you've made a mistake. But I think we've got away from the fact where it seems like in how do I put this, in sport and in coaching, there's no room for criticisation now. Whereas I think it's a good thing. I'm still of the old school mindset. You need to tell people in the right way, of course, because we don't want any mistreatment of people or younger people or anything like that. But I need to know that that's not right, or in my opinion, that's not right.
So you're kind of saying that the hairdryer, the hairspray, the full-on at you is kind of dying away, but there's still hard constructive criticism. We need to get that one.
Yes. I feel like we're focusing on making everybody so. I go back to schools and things, and I understand sports day. I'm very much my son, and he'll tell you he's out there to win. He can come second or third. I will say, mate, it's fine to be second or third. It's totally fine. But did you want to win? And go, Dad, I want to win. And I say to him, well, how do you win then? You have to get better. There's two, 3 people better than you. Mm-hmm. For me, that's a way of saying, you're happy being second or third.
Yeah.
Also saying it's fine. There's best sprinters in the world that can't catch Usain Bolt, and then I use myself as an example. Well, look at all the goalkeepers that are in front of Daddy, and he goes, but you've been there. I said, well, you've got to work hard to get to that point, and that's to an 8-year-old son. Yeah. Now, Jude Bellingham at Birmingham City is 16, and he's probably one of the best up and coming. I'll tell him, and he knows. He comes to me for honest opinion, and I'll say, no, that was crap. But then he'll say straight away, yeah, I know. And you think to yourself, this is where the best players say, yeah, like he'll do so much well, and I'll pick on that little bit, and everyone goes, oh, well, it's a bit harsh. I say, no, because he knows that I know that he's done that bit well, but he wants to be a winner. So the fact that he's picking up on the 5% he did wrong tells me that he's going to go far. Yeah. And I'm sure you'll have come across bowlers and things that pick up on the. And there's a line, I think. There's a line between picking up on your failures to want to win and then just hammering yourself. Mm. I've got a goalkeeper, I won't mention his name, young lad at Birmingham. I've had to give him so much praise because he used to go in training. He could have the best training session. If he dropped the last ball, he would literally go home and reevaluate his whole life because of that one thing. Now he's got so much better. He's so intense. Yeah. It took the good away from him. So there's a fine line there between hammering yourself for good and beating yourself up.
So with someone like him, this the young lad you said at Birmingham, who intervenes there? Who steps in and tries to help him remember that it's just a game? It's just a settle out.
The goalkeeper coach in this situation would do that.
Yeah,
and he did, and he's on top of it. But because I was at the time training with the younger lads, he helped. He came and asked not for help, but for a bit of guidance where it came from a different direction.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can think, oh, that coach is just doing his job. Whereas if someone comes on a personal level, in a stature that they want to get to.
Yeah. And
I'm a very personable person. So I went to him and I said, look, you at first I was having a bit of joke. I said, you really need to calm down because you pop your lid soon enough and it'll all come crashing down.
Yeah.
And it takes time. And it for people like that, you have to have a nice approach. Remind them of all the things. And it starts from like at home. People love you if you're going to do you'll have criminals that people still love them. It's not the end of the world, and it's a game of football. It's a hobby.
Yeah,
that you're getting paid to do. So you start from there, and the psychological aspect. They're thinking, oh well, yeah. What's the end of the world? What if you drop a ball in training? The only person who probably remembers that is you. So it takes time. It gets angry, less and less angry, and you say, right, if you're going to get angry, you've got 10 seconds to snap out of it.
All right.
And it's like a little thing because in goalkeeping, you have 6 reps. You snap out of it. Your next rep's coming in. You could let 6 goals in now instead of that first one. So you can lose 6-0, or you could possibly lose or draw 1-1.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I remember training. So we'd be training Martin Guptill. This is I'm not telling any stories here, but he used to have to hit everything in the middle. If he's batting in the nets or having some knockups, everything had to come out of the middle. Otherwise, he just wasn't happy. That is an impossible standard, given that we're dealing with surfaces that are not even, not completely round, and you just not possible. But for him to feel prepared, to feel good, he had to hit everything out in the middle. So it's never possible for him to actually walk out on the ground feeling as good as he could do, because you just can't do those things. And so the slow acceptance of ugly runs, if that not hitting it off the middle but still getting success, ugly goals, whatever, they all happen. There's a calmness that I think he has sort of learnt because of being able to sort of get rid of that. I have to hit everything out of the middle, and it took a long time, and it took quite some input from a lot of people in a mocking kind of way, and as well as in a caring kind of way.
I understand.
He'd smoke one in front of point, and it was supposed to go through the covers, and he'd be a bit annoyed, and we're like, no, that's still the same result. It's still 4. And he'd be frustrated, and I just couldn't get my head around that. But at the same stage, I do know what that feels like when you're bowling. It doesn't come out right, but it's still okay. But that is a hard journey for to get out of that. What is now you've had some extraordinary days in goal in terms of some of the things, the feats, some of the things you've done, and I hate doing this, but the one I saw was your penalty against Manchester United, and that must be one of the more clearer memories, or one of the ones you have to talk about the most.
At the minute, no, it's like that's a little bit forgotten, as in people's memories, because everybody's quite up to date. So the Brighton penalty save would be the one that I made, the double save. That's more because it got, with social media now, it got on Sky Sport. It was on Sky Sports, so it was tweeted, and everybody remembers that. And because in the grand scheme of things, but like you say, everything was a blur. Apart from the game. So I don't remember walking out. I don't remember walking in. I just remember the game, that happening, who gave the penalty away, everything, how I played before it. It was a nervous affair. But I think that just settled me into my career as well, because of the timing as well. And it's like people start to look as in, okay, so you can handle it on a big stage. So
there's So that kind of exposure, that achievement. Okay, let's take the exposure out of it. That achievement, that helped you go, yeah, actually, I'm in the right place, did it?
Because it sets a standard.
Yeah.
So people are expecting, and if you don't deliver, we can get plenty more people who can.
So that was those couple of moments. They're the ones that sort of help you. Like there's an imposter syndrome, and I played with that for quite a bit in my career. Where it's like, how am I playing with these guys? I look around the changing room, like this is ridiculous. I watch these guys on TV, and I love watching these guys on TV, and I'm sitting in a changing room with them trying to do what they do. Not a chance. But there's been a few days where I go like, I can hang with these guys. Was that some of those feelings on the back of those couple in those little times?
I still have that now. I'm very much. I'm at Wycombe, and it's a new set. I don't think, I was pretty good last year. I think, right, I need to show these and prove first with the eye, where they go, geez, he's decent, isn't he? Because when you drop down in football or in levels, so like, I don't know how to describe it. Is it when you do county cricket in New Zealand and Australia? Is it state?
Provincial cricket, state cricket, whatever.
Provincial. So, like, if you drop down, someone will say to you, right, let's see what he does here.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care what you say. You're always thinking, let's show him then. Let's turn it on a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's how
I find dropping down a level gets even more, makes me even more nervous because I'm supposed to do really good as opposed
expected.
to expected to do really good. And then you go back down and play club cricket, if you know, in some spare time, and they expect a lot, and it's like, no, I don't know about this.
Yeah, so that's what keeps people motivated. It's when you lose the fact of like, do you know what, I was quite good last year, so they'll probably believe me on that, and then you come in and it's like, well, it didn't go as planned. So I've got points to prove, and that's what keeps me motivated, is the fact that I've got plenty of eyes. 3 people might have seen me do well on the TV out of the team, but what about the other 20? I've got to show them. Like, and then it's when people start going, not sure, and then you're thinking, whoa, like, I've got to show up here. And then you show up and you move on up, and then people say to me, are you thinking about moving down leagues now? And I'm thinking about, no, I've got a point to prove. If I can still play in the Premier League in 2 years' time, I believe I can.
Yeah.
But it's the route to get there.
Yeah. And
it's funny you say about all this, because I actually watched a thing on YouTube about Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
It was called the Brady Six. If anybody is interested in this, he got picked in the 6th round, 199th pick.
Wow.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And what came out of it was basically saying he went to Bill Belichick, and he was talking about maybe he might get a chance, a couple of reps, and he was like, Bill, this is the best decision you've ever made. It's like me when I started off to Roy Hodgson. Roy, I've got this. Don't you worry about this. And what they said in the end.
Who are you to say that?
Yeah. Like, what they said in the end was all his stats were crap, really. Mm-hmm. Like, he did well, but all his stats compared to all these others. And in the end, Bill Belichick said, do you know what you can't measure with running and weights and gym and how high? You can't measure heart and determination. Mm-hmm. If people write people off, the ones who want to and feel it inside will come to the top. That last night, just like how it got sent to me, the timing of when it got sent to me was like somebody was telling me something. Yeah. So that, to me, it was funny how we've come to this. Yeah. But that, to me, last night made me realise there's a lot of eyes out here that don't believe me. So
do you catch yourself watching those sorts of clips or sports movies or movies where there is where a team or a player has some crazy success on the back of some pretty tough times? Do you ever find yourself sort of looking around going, I'm crying? Why am I crying? Do you ever catch yourself with those sort of emotions?
Mine's very much goose pimples.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know that I like the sports and around the world. Yeah. I watched the All Blacks one on Amazon. Mm-hmm. Just about how they take putting that shirt on. Yeah. Like, leave the shirt in a better place. Yeah. Like, the philosophy, like, you've got to take that. Like, I watched is it Richard McCaw? Yeah.
Former captain.
Well, things how he thinks, like, and it's like it's like a world. It's like you've put a breeze block on your back when you put the shirt on, and they said if you can't carry it, there's somebody else who will, and I think that's where you get the fact of team, and I think we might have lost that in different countries of the fact that you're carrying the badge on your shoulders, you know. Yeah. And I say that because All Blacks, because of what they've done. It's like when it comes to cricket, there's certain teams, national teams, that have gone through phases where they were best. I remember the West Indies back in the day, and the Aussies with all their players and everything. It weren't like Ambrose. It was the Windies. It was like
absolutely.
The wind, and like you had to carry that burden, like, and you were the best team. You were there to get knocked down. So for me, it's like those people. Are you telling me that they had brilliant upbringings and they was gifted money and everything? I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's very few and far between in this, but the fact that they're determined to do what counts. And for me, I watched rugby union, so the All Blacks was a thing where they're literally putting life and limb every game. And if you didn't put it in, you've got another 15 lads that are going to probably kick you up after as well, you know. Whereas football, you can get a little pussy around a little bit. So I'm not afraid to say that, but it's all in the right context. And that's why you should always look at different sports and never play different sports just because you might not be good at it or you think it's boring. Or like, I'm a snooker fan as well.
Yeah.
But it's about thinking. It's not like, oh, it's boring to watch. I'm thinking, how is he going through? He's probably 7 shots in front of himself. How can I bring that into a game of football? Sometimes you can't. If I'm thinking what somebody might think, I just enjoy that aspect. And I think that's another side where I maybe lacked in other things, but the fact that I've thought everything through and really give everything to what I needed to, that's stood me in good stead.
Those motivating factors, or those things you find motivation in, and you find similarities in, and then the other side of it, when you flap at one and a goal's scored, and then for the rest of the week you're harassed on social media and you're harassed through the media. Now, I used to get it a bit, and social media was kind of fresh back then. It was kind of new. Pretty much everyone's got social media now. How does that change your life now? Because it is so easy for anybody to talk to you. It is so easy, for anybody to talk to me, to anybody, because there are social media accounts. How do you deal with that side of it?
I think social media is good because it gives you a connection. But with an upside, you've got to take a downside. If you're going to put yourself out there, you've got to be. I'd say there's people who go too far. Let's just say that. And if someone says, "Look, I don't know if you're allowed to swear, but you're crap. You're shit." Okay, no worries. That's your opinion. And then they move on. But then you have people who harass you for days and days and days, and then it gets personal, and then it's about family, what car you drive, what doorbell you sounds like. It literally gets down to that. And if someone actually had a criticism and said, "Look, this is why I think you're not very good," and they listed it off, and you went, "Look, you're not a goalkeeper coach, but fair enough, you've gone through and done your homework or whatever."
Yeah. It's at least constructive.
But you get a lot of contradictory reports. It's like, you can make a mistake. You are the worst player. Say 3 penalties in a row, you're a legend. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, at least say I'm crap, but I had a good game.
Yeah.
Stick with what you feel.
Yeah.
I've got no problem if you think I'm crap. But if I'm proving you wrong, don't jump back to my side. Just say, yeah, he's doing well, but I think he's still crap.
I used to, good days and bad days, it's a horrible thing to say, but I used to quite looking forward to what would be said on my feed. If I had a bad day, I'd go home and I'd look at it all, and I'd try not to let it make my mood. But it would do. Of course it would do. Good day, it might puff up your chest. Bad day, it's certainly going to make you feel worse. Does it have that kind of effect on you, or have you found a way to put it to one side and just take it with a grain of salt, a pinch of salt?
A grain of salt, a grain of sand.
Grain of sand, a pinch of salt, or whatever.
As you know me from back at the cricket days, I'm very much... I can take most things.
Yeah.
It's
but it
hard
must wear you down, bro. It must wear you down.
Yes. Yeah. Especially when you're in a deep place where nobody knows, and you're keeping your thoughts in, and people have been in dark places, and I've been there. If you're getting it every single day, which pretty much happens still now.
Yeah.
you've got to remember that you could post one thing and you can have 1,000 people say, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
how I get through it is once I've finished football or you finish cricket, no one's really that bothered. And it's like, how I think about it is it because you want the attention of me maybe snapping back? I think so.
Yeah.
So I've learned now there's not a lot of people I reply to. And then people say, "Oh, you always reply to the good comments," because the bad don't usually deserve one.
Yeah.
But I've also learned you've got to do good things. Some people might be going through some bad times.
Yeah.
So you've got to think that someone might really be angry at that moment in time. They might not even be a nasty person. They might just be thinking, I have to tell you what I think right now. I've gone through a shit week and you've made it even worse. And I can tell you.
You've done some pretty amazing things outside of football too. I remember with the air show crash a wee while back. You spent some time and you put in quite a bit of effort with some of those people raising some money. Is that, fill me in there, because I look at how you carry yourself and you're way too young to be doing these kinds of things, if that makes sense.
First and foremost, I think that I'm in a privileged position. Like I said at the top, that football becomes irrelevant when these people and these families are going through these things. I always try and find a strike between looking after my family and doing what's needed, and then helping other people who aren't as fortunate as me. They went through a difficult time. Look, there's nothing you can do, but because it was so close to the club, it was so close to the town, the city. I said, look, if there's anything I can do. He was the goalkeeper, one of the lads that passed away, and he was on the ground staff, so I kind of had a certain relationship of often shouting at each other and telling each other we were a crap at our jobs. As a staff member, I'm a staff member at Brighton, he was a staff member. That was our tool of staying together, as you know. So me and Alan Mullery went and visited the families. I'm not going to lie, I was crying because I was saying, what would I be like if this was my child? I didn't know what to say. So just being there and being affectionate to a family who's lost a child, a brother, a grandson, was all they needed at that time. And everybody was saying a magnificent thing to do. And at the end of the day, is it the right thing to do? Just because I'm a footballer, it made more press. Whereas if somebody had gone off the neighbour street and sat with them for an hour, nobody would have reported that. So I understand that it gets out there and people say, oh, what a wonderful gesture. But in a human sense, it's the right thing to do. I was representing Brighton Football Club as well. So I had another different aspects to what I was doing. I was supporting the people. The way that the club handled that situation and around that time, that was good. And then as a show of respect, the ones that worked with the club or coached with the club, I put some things on and passed it down to the family, like some shirts I wore for a game and some gloves. So I thought that was it wasn't because I needed to, because technically what am I going to say to the families? But we went and sponsored some charity events that they put on a football game. So the family went down there, they gave some shirts and stuff. And so in the end, I still have a contact with the family. And then has it worked out that the year after, we was at our presentation evening and they were there, all the families were there, they got invited, but I got given the PFA Community Award, which I didn't know. So I was in a little bit of a mess. I've got to say, my eyes were streaming a little bit. I wasn't expecting, like I said on the stage then, that ain't for me. So it's dedicated to the people who looked after the emergency crews, to the family.
Mm.
And to this day, that's probably one of my proudest things that I've got in my trophy cabinet, because at the end of the day, nobody can take away goodness.
Mm-hmm.
You can strip people of medals, you can say they didn't deserve it. I don't think I deserved a medal for what I did. I've got people fighting wars and invisible wars on the front line. They deserve everything that they want and get. I just got a medal for doing the right thing. So to me, that's deeper than what I can do on a football pitch. That's my job. I was just doing my job. Whereas I'm proud of the fact that I'm human to people and think about other things like. And in this situation, I'm trying to do some bits and pieces. Like, we've just been to the food bank this morning to drop some things off. I've got some NHS staff living in one of the houses that I've got.
Cool.
So just little things that might not be anything to somebody living anywhere else, but to the community that you work in and live in, it's a solid thing.
No, I couldn't imagine going in and seeing families that have lost children and lost family members. The courage for you to go and to talk to them, because you don't really know what you can say and what you can do. So it's an easy one to sort of pass on. I don't know what I'm going to say. Can someone else go? So, mate, I just have the most respect for you and for that. And I did want to hear you talk about it, because I did, and I pick up the crackle in your voice as well, that it's still I could still hear that it's still a real thing, as opposed to, sort of done and I can, move on and live with it, mate. But that was, mate, thank you for sharing that. What's next, man? How many more years you got? And okay, hold on. How do you get back to being in contention for the England job? Come on, Stocky. Because you were in contention a wee while ago.
Yeah, I was close.
Yeah.
I've been close, but as you know, I'm very much like here and now. If I said to somebody, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be an England goalkeeper," there's somebody out there that will listen to this show and say, "You said this. What a fool!"
No, but it's in your goals, isn't it? It's still in your plan.
I would never ever, until the day I signed that letter to say I've retired, I will never give up hope.
Yeah.
If you do, then you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So I've got a short-term goal, and then I've got a goal where I want to get back in the Premier, whether it happens. But if you don't have that goal, even at 39, 40, where I want to go to, if I don't think I can do it, psychologically, you beat yourself. You might as well sign that bit of paper to say you retired. If my body lets me.
Yeah. You're looking pretty good, Nick. You've had some criticisms about your body shape and your body size.
Definitely.
That's normally that's not something that happens a lot in men's sort of sport body shaming, but you've had to put up with a bit of that, haven't you?
Yeah, a lot. Sometimes rightly so. I've always been honest about that. I'm a skinny geezer. Will prove people wrong, and I've been at the right time. I've been the right weight, the right atmosphere, environment. I've proved people what I can do. So I think people get a lot annoyed because they think that's your job. Sometimes you go through stages where you might not be right in your mind. You're going through things at home or whatever, and it is what it is. I'm not proud that I'm not 100% fit, but if you look at a lot of people, there won't be 1,000 people out of 1,000 people that have got a six-pack, and some people have got different body shapes. I'm never been one to say, yeah, I've been in great shape, but at the minute, I've used this time now to get back into a shape where I'm nearly at what I was at Brighton, playing well. So I've got a lot of people at Wycombe around me now that believe in what I can do still and know where I need to be. And said the criticism, like I said before, if you don't do it, then you're not going to get what you're going for. So it's your choice.
Do you think when
so
you were a bit heavier, did you play any better, any worse? Did you have less stamina, or how did it affect your game?
There was times and things that happened where I thought, yeah, I should get that. I should be saving that, or I should be quicker. So you know in your own mind, because you're an honest person.
Yeah.
But then there's times where you think, I've just made a great save there.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have mattered if I was 10 stone lighter or 10 stone heavier. I think that was a brilliant save.
Yeah.
But the point of the matter is, like, there is a fitness regime you got to keep to. And the good thing for me, touch wood, is I've always stayed away from the real serious injury.
Yeah.
And people say, you've done well for, like, the injuries that you've had are not significant like other people have had. And I say, well, I'm not saying it's because I'm overweight. I feel like that I'm robust enough that I can get to a certain level without going too low. Yeah. Then I feel like that's my peak. I'm never going to have a 6-pack or a 10-pack or ripped with muscle. That I've got to accept things in life. You know, some people have. Yeah, you know, I mean, you've always had that. You've always had the look of the skinniness. So it's all that running in.
It's disappearing. But actually, one of the things, I got too skinny when I was playing because of all the bowling, because of all the running in. I was getting I was losing that robustness, and that actually became something that I had to work on. I actually had to work on putting on a couple of kilos, because for a wee while, my one of my ribs kept banging down on the top of my hip. So I'd bowl and the rib would hit the hip bone. So I actually had to put more fat on. I just had to put more weight on around here so I was a bit more robust and had a little bit more cushioning. And then you got people that are just trying to lose it all the time. I couldn't put on weight. It was the hardest thing to do. And so there's always this, I need to be that place. I need to be this place. No one's ever gets down a
perfect, are they? No one's perfect, as in there's always something that you could wish you had. And I think in this day and age, everybody's got this thing about how you look with social media now. Like, you have to look a certain way, you know. When I retire, is people going to say you're fat? Probably. The point is, like, if someone, the most disappointing thing would be if somebody in a higher stature would say to me, do you think you'd have gone further if you'd have been fitter? Well, most likely. Did I do it? No. So that's what I have to live with.
Yeah, okay.
I've still got time.
Wow, yeah.
So I feel like I'm getting into a good rhythm. And I mentioned Mark Schwarzer at Fulham. He didn't get into, like, proper tip-top shape until he was 35, 36. Then the last 5 years of his career, he was a monster. Like, he wasn't fat or anything. He just went into a point where he said, how do I make it to 40, 41, 42? He turned his life inside out, and he turned into a monster. When I mean monster, I mean, like, ripped, thighs like this, muscle everywhere, strength, everything. But that was his thing. That's why he was one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League for a long time. So there's still time. Should never give up on what.
I'm looking forward to that transition, bro. Send me the up-to-date photos.
I'll send you the one that I took a few years ago when I'd just been on a night out.
Oh, mate, that's cool. Man, that's awesome. Thanks, Docky. I've enjoyed this chat. This is so I'm trying to get a load of different sports and different perspectives, and a goalkeeper in Premier League and around. It's been some of those things you've talked about are just there's always a parallel, isn't there, between business, between sports. There's always a link that sort of joins everything together, and it's all relative. I keep saying that, you know, you achieve at football, I achieved at cricket, other people achieve at business, and there's all same sort of links, and we all go through the same sort of ups and downs and horrible times. Thanks, man, for sharing that with us. That's been cool.
Enjoyed it. Nice catching up as well.
Likewise. Yeah, likewise.
The last time we were in the changing room together.
Yeah. Don't make it so long till the next one, all right?
No.
Right, Stocky. Cheers, my man. Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Take care.
Stay family. See you, mate.
Hi, Ian O'Brien here. Thanks for getting to the end of this 108 with IOB. I'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe, please. But also leave us a message down below in the comments about what was your most interesting or favourite part of this chat. Thanks a lot. Love ya.